Well, it has been reported that the Pentagon has already arrested, or rather the US has already arrested the person, the mastermind, the super hacker who managed to evade all the security that the Pentagon has. That is, all the levels and sub-levels of networks. He managed to evade and hack the Pentagon. Yes, and before it came out, something about it was questioned. Is this a real story? Because it's really the story that they're implying, that supposedly they caught the person who carried out this super hack. Who is this person? The kid's name is... I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Jack Teixeira.
And he's a 21-year-old kid. 21 years old. And when you read about how they found him, it seems even shadier than the supposed theory. Going to explain it, to review what happened so you understand it. Let's understand how all of this came to be. Now, if you live under a rock, you didn't hear the story about hundreds of documents leaked from the Pentagon to the internet. According to the official story, they began to be transmitted through Discord servers, and these documents verified and corroborated the facts that were already known about the United States spying, actually spying on their allies, that the United States already has American troops in Ukraine, that Ukraine has no weapons, that Ukraine is losing the war. All this was said in those documents. I actually made a video about it. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it so that you understand the seriousness of the matter. So, how is it that this 21-year-old, who is a young gamer by the way, came to have access to these mega documents that tell the truth about Ukraine? The truth that could possibly generate, could actually cause Europe to cut relations with the US. Remember how the story came out about these documents? A couple of weeks ago it was reported that they were shared, and then by last weekend, Emmanuel Macron goes to China, has a meeting, walks out of the meeting, and tells the US to go to hell, calling for a break with them and the US dollar. And it starts a movement within Europe, with European politicians who support and applaud this message. So you're telling me that the one that's causing the fall of American imperialism, of US hegemony, because the damage these documents are causing is going to completely destroy the hegemony of the United States. It was a 21-year-old. Truthfully, I would really like to tell you that I'm joking, to tell you that this is an April Fool's Day joke. The young man didn't even hack the Pentagon. He merely found the documents. He's a member of the Air National Guard. His name is Jack Teixeira. He's 21 years old and he is the accused by, or it is supposed that the New York Times, curiously, were the ones who found him when they got together with a group of hackers known as the White Hats, so to speak, or the White Spies of open source. That's what they call themselves, which is like open source, which means that anyone, meaning they are not private, can work with them. They are internet spies. These characters found the identity of this person, Teixeira, according to this report. And thanks to the New York Times, the identity of the person was revealed. He has been arrested. In fact, here are the videos that we're going to quickly view of his arrest. He's from Massachusetts, by the way, North Dayton, Massachusetts. Well, I think the video doesn't even have audio, but there he is, handcuffed, a 21-year-old youngster. Can you imagine? To go down in history as the one who brought down the hegemony of the United States, and who supposedly, since he works in the Air National Guard, allegedly came across the documents and said, "Oh, I'm going to scan them and send them to my friends through Discord," because he's a supposed gamer and has a Discord server on which he plays with his friends. He started to send them and his friends took them and began to share them on the internet, and this is how it supposedly happened. Now, I'm here to tell you the story. If you want to believe it, that's your problem. If you don't want to believe it, that's also your problem. This is how it's being reported that it happened. I, to be honest, find it hard to believe. It's hard to believe that This kid who doesn't even know anything about hacking just found them. How did they get there? And that they were just there. He grabbed them and said, oh, what's this? It's some super mega classified Pentagon papers that could cause the hegemonic power of the US to collapse in a matter of days. Let me share it with my friends via Discord. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Well, the truth sounds pretty hard to believe, but hey, he's the dude. Here we see him, arrested. I would rather believe that it's because the U.S. was not going to allow it in any way that is assuming scenarios, all right? They're nothing more than scenarios. Scenario 1, it's really him, I look ridiculous. I'm the clown. Oh well, big deal. Scenario 2, it was an external agent that hacked an external country, and in order to not admit that they were hacked by an external country, the U.S. created a scapegoat. This is just a scenario, nothing more. You choose what you want to believe. See you in the next video. Take good care.